on this week's episode of In the Suite with Tina Powell.
I imagine you sitting in my seat and you have all the same resources as me. You have the same exact team, same exact time, same everything, but it's just you in my seat. What would you do differently than I'm doing right now? And normally you can think of like one or two things off the bat. Like Tina would be doing this right now. Tina would be doing that. And whenever you identify that thing, implement it in the next 48 hours.
Hi, this is Tina Powell, host of In the Suite, where I sit down with top women leaders and some of the biggest names in the financial services and the wealth management industry. Together, we'll discover some of their best secrets and top strategies to grow a great business, build a strong brand, and lead teams in the 21st century. I hope you'll enjoy hearing their amazing personal stories of triumph, trepidation, and transformation in hopes of becoming better leaders ourselves. The time for you to lead is now, and you're in the suite. Today, I'm beyond thrilled to welcome a dynamic force of connection and innovation in the suite, Rachel Cameron, Managing Director of Partnerships at Nitrogen. You may have known them as Riskalyze, but under the banner of Nitrogen, the company has evolved into a comprehensive growth platform that is redefining how advisors interact with clients. Rachel is at the heart of this evolution, champion a philosophy where technology allows advisors to swivel the monitor, not the chair. From specialized planning to crushing every meeting with AI, she is helping firms move from simply managing risk to actively driving growth. Think AI is just a buzzword or that partnerships are merely about sales? Rachel will change your mind. Her insights reveal how practical AI applications like automated meeting briefs and smart searches are solving real problems and freeing up advisors to be more consultative. Her mission to help professionals stop just getting busy and start getting strategic about their growth. This conversation was especially fun for me, having watched Rachel's journey from our first meeting in an elevator at a conference to now seeing her curate the main stage at the Fearless Investing Summit. I've always admired her infectious enthusiasm and intentionality. She embodies the idea that in the relationship business, success comes from being someone's others genuinely want to work with, prioritizing trust and likability before knowledge. Plus, Rachel shares a transformative productivity hack called the Hot Shot Rule, a mental exercise to kickstart momentum in just 24 hours. And she reveals how an under-desk treadmill has become her secret weapon for focus and fitness. So whether you're an advisor looking to systematize your new client acquisition, a professional navigating in a pivot in WealthTech, or simply someone looking to build deeper, more value-driven partnerships, this episode is packed with energy, strategy, and actionable advice. So get ready for an energizing conversation with one of the industry's most passionate connectors right here in the suite. Wow, Rachel Cameron, take a seat in the suite. I am so excited you're here. TGIF, everyone, especially to you, Rachel. We've been planning this for a while now, and you're here. How great is that?
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. I started listening when you first launched it, and it's truly an honor. It's really exciting to be here with you.
I love it, Rachel, that we're in the triple digits now. We're over 100 episodes, which is fantastic and phenomenal. So really excited to have you here. You've got such a fascinating background, and we're going to get into that. But first, you are Managing Director of Partnerships at Nitrogen, everyone that was formerly Riskalyze, in case you've been living under a rock. Riskalyze, Nitrogen, you guys have been a company that's been near and dear to my heart. Originally, when I started out in this industry, I was at an RA firm for almost 10 years, and Nitrogen was in our back pocket, and you helped us with new client acquisition and just your company, Aaron, Trisha. Everyone there has just been phenomenal to work with. So for those listening, and we do have a lot of advisors and we've got a lot of non-advisors, but I think it's really fascinating for people to know who Nitrogen is today. There's been such an evolution. There's been so much innovation, and how Nitrogen, the role that you play and Nitrogen plays in helping advisors to achieve success. So I know that's a mouthful, Rachel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm so excited to talk about Nitrogen because we really are doing a lot of really cool things. And I'm super bullish on the position that we have in the marketplace. So we changed our name from Riskalyze to Nitrogen because we help advisors grow their practice. So Nitrogen is the element that helps all living things grow. And we really want to be the platform that helps advisors grow their business. And so the evolution of Nitrogen is really about being more of a specialized planning platform. We're purpose built with AI, and we're designed to let advisors shine in meetings with their clients. So what that means is we're kind of made up of a lot of different things now. So of course, Riskalyze, still a very core part of our platform. We're still the market leader in risk analytics and portfolio analytics. And we have new products that supplement the risk process. So the new products all around specialized planning, including standalone investment research, we have income planning, we have a tax planning product, and now a meeting note taker that sits on top of all of it. And really at the core and the ethos of what we do with all of those and what we mean by helping advisors shine in meetings with clients is we're purpose built to be designed really well and made to be seen in client meetings. So we want advisors to be able to swivel their monitor and not their chair whenever they're in the platform. Anything they need to have a really impactful conversation with their clients with really compelling visuals, we are right there with them.
I think that's great. And for those of you listening right now that are very visual like me, you can head over to nitrogenwealth.com. We'll have a link in the show notes, and you can really see an example of this. Rachel, I loved it when you said swivel the monitor, not the chair, when we had our conversation prepping for this. And when you showed off a lot of the tools and a lot of the features that are now built in within Nitrogen's growth platform. So really, truly impressive there. So everyone, if in order for you to get a sense of the powerful capabilities here, I encourage you to go to the website. You could either book a demo or take a tour. We're just doing this because we're friends of Nitrogen. I want to say that there's no payment for In the Suite right now. So it's just me because I love Rachel. I love her enthusiasm and her passion and how she, as a woman in the wealth management industry, has evolved her career, but also to align with some of the best companies in the space, and that would be Nitrogen. So definitely go there for you to just get a sense. It costs nothing to just take a tour, book a demo. And one of the things that we challenge people at intentionally, especially advisors, is to look at your marketing tech and look at your advisor tech. There are opportunities there for new client acquisition right under your feet. But right now, the big thing, and we know this, is everyone is talking about AI. And so I feel like there's like a lot of noise right now, but you have another fun saying over at Nitrogen that I felt is really inspiring, and particularly as it relates to the Fearless Investing Summit, which we're going to talk about in a minute here, you guys. But you talk about crushing every meeting with AI. I love these like mantras that you have here. What's actually different about how Nitrogen is applying AI inside your growth platform?
Yeah. So there's two things around that. One is we're surfacing insights across the whole platform. So we're doing that with our meeting center. And really what that means is advisors are used to doing a risk tolerance questionnaire with their clients. From there, they're doing investment research and creating a proposal. From there, they're creating really great income capabilities to show, am I going to have enough money in retirement to match my risk score? Then we've added our tax center capability, and tax center is awesome to provide some snapshots, some really great visuals around what they did last year and what they could do better next year. So the meeting center allows to pull insights across all areas of that platform to create a one-page client brief about the client. So those insights really help advisors prep for meeting. It's almost like a one-page strategic brief that you can type in and prompt in the system to surface some talking points with the client. And then when those are surfaced, you can pick and choose what you actually talk about. We integrate that back into CRMs after the meeting is done. So that's a really awesome value add tool to really prep for the meeting itself. And then the second thing we do around insights is through our tax center. So we have a tax, not only the snapshot with the visuals, we also have really specific insights that are given after. So bullet points where advisors can kind of read and kind of glean information to choose to share with the client or even a partner CPA. And then the second thing we do, which I really get jazzed about, is the practical things we do with AI that advisors may not even realize AI is being used. It takes away all of the thinking that the advisors have to do and just really makes it practical, time saving. So those things are AI statement capture. So advisors can click and drag PDF statements into a proposal or into an account and helps build that account from a PDF statement, which is great, huge time saver for our advisor clients. And then also we have smart searches within the platform. So we have millions of assets in the platform that we analyze and provide analytics on, and you can just type in as if you have a portfolio manager sitting across the desk from you, like, hey, tell me what asset is in the US. I'm looking for a low-cost ETF. What do you got for me? And you can type that into the system and it'll filter the different assets that might be available to choose from. And then the advisor makes the choice to add it into a proposal. So really great, practical, meaningful things for sure.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I was literally like envious of this platform. I wish that, we had Riskalyze way back when, and again, it was a real needle mover for our business. I like the idea of everything being under one roof. I think that to have an entire platform where you're combining the tax and the meetings, and that, you're freeing up advisors' time to actually sit down and be consultative with their clients and be in front of their clients, and this administrative aspects of what that means in wealth management was a huge lift, way back when. So for me, it's really exciting to see how it evolves. I'm no longer sitting in client service and in that capacity. But for people who are, I think it's really exciting to see evolution. And AI, we see this in marketing too, Rachel. It's there, but it's like, it needs to be embedded if you're going to have a software technology. A big shout out to my business partner and our CEO founder, Kelly Waltrick, for Advisor Brand Builder, that also has components with AI, but it feels like AI is just table stakes. Like, it's what are you trying to achieve in your business? That's the most important thing. What problems are we solving for? And what solutions do you provide directly to address those problems? So again, guys, Nitrogen Wealth, I know I sound like a commercial because I am right now. It's really worth an investment in your time.
And I really see AI, you're right, it's a huge buzzword. It is table stakes. And when I was at Black Diamond heading up the integrations program, that the buzzword then was integrations. Every platform was trying to integrate with each other. And advisors very quickly and very smartly were able to suss out which integration actually drove impact, value, time saving. It was really obvious when platforms touted a deep integration, but it ended up just being a single sign-on just to help you log in. There really was no data exchanged. And I see a lot of parallels with that in the AI world, where AI can be used as a buzzword on top of maybe subpar different things that AI is doing. And you really have to meet advisors where they are. They're smart. They know what's going to actually save them time, or maybe make even more thinking exercises to create discernment around like what you're doing. So if you're surfacing that in a really easy, smart way that takes out a lot of that critical thinking that you can use in other areas of your business to drive more impact, then I think you've really made a great thing.
Yeah, I love that. And testament to you and Nitrogen's platform, trusted by over 30,000 financial advisors, LPL, Hightower, Osaic, Cetera, United Planners, AE Wealth Management. I mean, these are some big companies run by some really amazing peeps and friends that I know. So it's really exciting there. We have all these tools for growth, right? We have all these tools now available to advisors. I'm interested to see and hear what you think based on what you've seen. What is the most common mistakes of why an advisor's business is maybe stalling right now? And what do you think the first move should be to restart their momentum?
Yeah, I think that a common mistake is just not trying new things. And also just sometimes the gut reaction is just to get busy. And really what you need is to slow down and get strategic. So really figure out, like, what does growth mean to you in your business? Does growth mean 10 more clients this year? Does growth mean 50 more clients this year? Do you want to 2x or 10x? Are you going after high net worth? Are you going after mass affluent? Like, what does that mean to you? So really getting specific about what you want will help you backtrack and make a plan to get that thing, and to really try to do it with metrics too. So if your goal is 10 new clients, but you know your prospecting rate to close, then you know what your pipeline should be to achieve that 10. And another plug at Risk Center in our risk process, we find that advisors will close between 70 to 80% of new prospects when they introduce a risk tolerance questionnaire with Nitrogen in our proposals. The other thing I wanted to share, just as a personal note, and what I personally do when I find that I'm stalling, I'm not an advisor, I'm not in an advisory practice, is a practice that I've had for a long time is implementing the hotshot rule. And this is a rule that's created by Kat Cole. She is the CEO of AG1. I love her so much. She has an incredible journey. If anyone wants to look at her story, she's done a lot of really neat podcasts and interviews. She's just amazing. And this rule is, imagine if a hot shot that you admire, someone that you really admire, that you think is just crushing it, like maybe Tina, you're my hot shot. So I imagine you sitting in my seat, and you have all the same resources as me. You have the same exact team, same exact time, same everything, but it's just you in my seat. What would you do differently than I'm doing right now? And normally you can think of like one or two things off the bat. Like, Tina would be doing this right now. Tina would be doing that. And whenever you identify that thing, implement it in the next 48 hours. Like, get to work and do it. And that has really been transformative for me. Every week I have a practice where I evaluate what was successful from the week prior, what do I want to do in the week ahead. And every week ahead, I try to think of my hot shot of what that person would do in the next 48 hours and make that my top priority for the week.
Well, I want you to be my hot shot, Rachel. I love that. It's
a neat exercise.
Yeah, I think you could, for our listeners out there, one of the first things that came to mind was building a persona around Kat Cole and using that in AI and creating a master prompt with that trait in mind. And then I think that you'd be getting some really good answers to it. I really liked your emphasis being on more strategic. And I want to just pause for just a second on that. As you were talking, Rachel, one of the things that I thought about, because we at Intentionally, we are working with lots of RIAs, right? And one of the things that Kelly is so big on is how marketing relates, and you're the same way, how marketing relates to revenue. It's not its own fragmented department. It is directly correlated and connected to revenue. So with your whole proposal software within Nitrogen's platform, if I were still working in our RIA, my goal for 2026, if I were going to try to kick up a momentum for growth, is I would give myself a minimum amount of proposals that I would run, right? And a minimum amount of risk scores that I would do, a minimum amount of tax analysis that our company would do, and then to increase the closing percentages of those things, but directly look at those numbers, and you could back into that with all your social campaigns and your email campaigns and your prospecting campaigns and your sales enablement. You could start putting QR codes on your sales enablement to be like, hey, take a look here and take a look there. So it really is about backing into a number and having a systemized system for growth, and then, augmented by some great feedback and knowing thyself. So that's really great advice. Yeah, I haven't checked out Cackle in a while. So I'm excited for that. Thank you. That's a really good tip, Rachel. Another thing, you guys, which is one of the most incredible things for me, is the Nitrogen Fearless Investing Summit. Yes. Happening February 18th to 20th at the Hyatt Regency in Denver. This episode will actually launch before that. You guys, there's over 15,000 attending from all 50 states, multiple countries. This is, I think, one of the biggest events that's actually going to really kick off our 2026. And you guys know I'm on the event circuit. Rachel's on the event circuit. Actually, the last time that we saw each other was in Denver at Schwab, right?
Yeah.
You're not only going to be there, I'm not only going to be there, but I feel like there should be a little mini drum roll here, guys. Josh Brown, Eric Clark, Michael Kitsis, Aaron Klein, who's now the founder of Contio. Wow. Like a total star-studded lineup. I'm fangirling all these guys here, and gals, right? What are some of the highlights that you're most excited about? Like, what's going to make this year's event different from last year?
Yeah. Oh man, I have been so lucky. One of the unexpected perks of joining the team was having such a heavy hand in really crafting the main stage and the agenda for Fearless. This will be my fifth Fearless and first as a Nitrogen employee. So I'm super excited to be on this side of the fence, just with the team. Yeah. And isn't that crazy? The fifth Fearless, it was 4 in person, 1 virtual. So I have a lot of experience. So I actually think we met, I don't know if you remember this, but we shared an elevator at a Fearless and I complimented you on your hair. And I think that was one of the first interactions that we had at a Fearless. But because I've had such a heavy hand in choosing all the main stage speakers, I really feel like they're my children. It's really hard to pick a favorite. You mentioned a lot of the standout and highlights. I really love a panel. I'm excited about your panel and all the people that we picked to be in the panel. Tim Welsh is doing a great debate session. That'll be really fun. It's 2 people going head to head with each other to answer questions. Yeah. So I'm personally really excited about the intentionality we've had this year about choosing speakers who are both inspirational, motivational, have been in the seat with a lot of our audience, and they can really speak right to the people where they impact every day. So it's a lot of, folks with direct impact. I always personally look forward to the Nitrogen keynote. We have a lot of really great things in our roadmap that we're going to be announcing. And in the age of remote work, I'm just excited to see a bunch of people in person and a lot of my teammates. But ultimately, we're excited to have the event be inspirational, practical, key takeaways. We have a lot of CE credit, and there's just a warmthness about Fearless that I've always enjoyed coming back to. The team just really likes working with each other. And I think that's felt across all the attendees and just the attention to detail that we put in every single thing we do there.
Me too. I've always loved this conference. And one of the things that I've always been impressed about is the production quality, the lighting, the sound, the orchestration of every single detail all throughout. But I'm really excited about our CMO panel. And ladies and gentlemen, that is happening Friday, February 20th, 2026 at 10:15. Get a sense of this dream team. Here we go. Samantha Allen is on the panel. She's from Merit Financial Advisors. You all know her. Tony Steach from Moran Wealth. He's going to be on there, and Billy Oliverio from United Planners. I mean, these are not only people in the industry that I respect, but they're friends. So we like anticipate just being very candid with each other. And I can tell you, we had a pre-session. We've already got to run a show. We already have a pre-session. They are just going to be dropping knowledge bombs left and right. From your perspective, do you see, I love this one-page client brief. I think that people need simpler, right? Less complex. From your side, and I know that you're not on our panel, but is there a traditional marketing tactic that you see out in the field that you feel is like officially dead might be too strong of a word, but like the things that should be left behind and the things that should be more future oriented in an advisor's marketing?
Yeah, this might be a hot take, but I really believe that we should market in a way that we want to be marketed to. And finances are just so personal. And perhaps there's also some recent discussion around just using AI to prospect. And what does that mean? Is it too much noise? How do we get specific about it? How can we prompt and really let AI get more personal at scale around not only who you're reaching out to, but what you're saying? So there's some discussions around that's not really, it's not really that quite there yet. And I know for me personally, I'm deleting a lot of emails that I'm getting because you can just tell that they're written by AI. They're using some system. They think that I'm in Auburn, California. Really, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. They're messaging me about vacuuming and cleaning my carpets. I don't manage that at all for my business. And so you just kind of can tell they're absolutely using an AI filter to reach my inbox. And if advisors aren't careful, and maybe this is like an old tactic of emails with a new tactic of AI prospecting, I just think there's a lot of carefulness about that, because if you are wanting to be an advisor in your local area, you're going to run out of prospects soon enough if
Right.
you're blasting it in that way. So that's kind of my hot take is emails, but perhaps a cold email, and perhaps how you're doing it, how you're finding it. Just use a lot of discernment around using AI around that, which I know it's getting better, but there's definitely ways that it can be kind of shooting yourself in the foot a little bit.
Yeah, and it should be further customized. Like AI, there always needs to be a human in the loop. That's literally a term. And the other term that I think is quite relevant to this conversation is AI slop. And
Yes.
so the overabundance and the deluge of content being out on the internet, and most of it being AI slop. I listened to a podcast by the New York Times called Hard Fork. And so they are always talking about like the latest tech evolution. They have interviews with some of the CEOs of the hottest tech firms, particularly in Silicon Valley. Let's take a moment to talk about your growth. If you're in financial services and wondering how to move the needle on metrics that truly matter, pipeline, revenue, and profitability, you need a marketing agency partner who gets it. And intentionally, we're not just any marketing agency. We are the go-to growth consultancy for fintechs, RIAs, custodians, broker-dealers, and asset managers. Our team of cross-functional growth specialists works seamlessly across your firm to accelerate results. Ready to get intentional? Email me at tina@growintentionally.com for a complimentary strategy call that starts transforming your growth engine today. Now, let's get back to the conversation. There's another aspect of Fearless Investing Summit, which I really like, which is a hallmark of Fearless. And that is the Women's Fearless Summit. So it's like a summit within a summit, ladies and gentlemen. And there's, I've had the chance to attend many years before. It's not just women, it's men too, because we love our male counterparts. A lot of us have actually had great careers in this industry because a fellow male colleague has opened a door, made an introduction, sponsored us when we weren't in the room. At least that's true for me, maybe for you too. But what can we expect about Women's Fearless Summit this year? What feels like, especially, what are you excited for? And you guys, you should definitely attend this event within this event.
Yeah. Well, thank you for plugging that. I'm really, really excited about this event this year. Historically, we've had our friend Cheryl Hickerson with Females in Finance host. She has done a phenomenal job and created just a really nice brand within the brand for us at the event and a lot of value for women. And so since, the Females in Finance she decided to close it this year, we have all the respect in the world for Cheryl. So now we're partnering with the Women's Leadership Alliance, and they are made up of advisors from all over the country. They are a marketplace partner to Nitrogen, and they just do a phenomenal job with hosting a lot of regional and virtual events for women all around the country. They have virtual events, in person. There's a big community around what they offer to advisors, and it's advisors of all shapes and sizes. So it's women who have been in practice for 30 years and have already retired, and now they're advising junior advisors. It's designed to empower and embolden, also to create an advocacy for attracting and developing new talent for women to the profession. So we're partnering with them this year. There's a bit of a rebrand on the title of the event, but same heart and spirit. It's called Fearless Women Bolder Together.
Ooh.
And yeah. And so they have 4 hours pre-show from 8:30 in the morning to 12:30 on Wednesday, which is the day that we kick off our conference at 1 p.m. So this will be all leading up to that. And they have Carrie Carbonaro, who's going to be keynote speaking. She's an incredible thought leader, an advocate for women, built a brand around females in finance as well. And then there's also a session that's led by their executive director, Stephanie Goulardi. She's really incredible, very inspirational, just leader, and does a lot around wellness and entrepreneurship and leadership. So the whole event is designed to inspire. It's designed for community and connection, and really, again, that practical, what's my next step? How can I level up my practice? And doing this in, the context of being a woman in financial services.
There are so many powerhouses that are attached to that organization, you guys. I had the opportunity and privilege to be at a women's leadership event last year in New York City. And Penny Phillips was there, Nina Stibbs, you know her as Nina O'Neill. She's on their board of directors. And Sherry Stevens from Stevens Wealth Management was one of their founders. This is an incredible group of women who are from all aspects of the industry, who I felt really supported and really empowered by their event. I can't wait till they do another one in New York City. So I'm really happy. And of course, a tribute and shout out to Cheryl Hickerson for actually starting and kicking off this momentum at Fearless. And now for the Women's Leadership Alliance to be championing it as well, too. I think that's great. I'm glad to see that there is this next evolution. But, there are some people that are probably looking to join other advisory groups. So Women's Leadership Alliance, you and I, the last time that we talked about it, we also talked about the Raymond James Women Financial Advisors Network too. So some really strong advocacy groups for women and people listening. So whether or not that you're at Fearless Investing Summit, or you're just listening to this podcast and you're not able to come, don't you think, Rachel, that people should still look into these organizations? There's a great benefit to joining.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know you have a lot of personal experience with just community is everything. Finding people who are like-minded, who have had a similar experience, who are either at the same place, facing the same problems, or being able to ask about from someone else who has been there before and can really guide them. It's a wonderful way to find mentors. January is Mentorship month, like National Mentorship Month. So within these networks, it's just so I've personally benefited a lot from finding these communities of people who can give advice and to help really get yourself to the next level or solve a problem that you need to solve or really just do life with. I mean, if you're a solo advisor and you're kind of working alone and maybe you're working remote, you're not really seeing a lot of people, communities can really feel like an extension of your own practice and really feel like coworkers in a way. I personally love meeting with other partnership professionals because often we are the only ones in our companies doing what we do. And so it's really great to talk to other people doing what I do, working with similar partners or the same partners, share ideas, share contacts, share next steps with each other just to help each other. And just in the context of being a woman, we're still the minority in this space, still very much a man's world. And it's not uncommon to be the only woman in a Zoom call full of men, which there's nothing wrong with that. I've personally had a lot of great male mentors throughout my career. But there's just something different about being completely like-minded with someone and perhaps going through similar challenges with someone else that you can really be candid with and be helped by.
Now, you've worked at a lot of different environments. You've worked at SNC Avent, you've worked at DPL. I'm wondering, do you have advice for women in their 40s usually looking to pivot into a leadership role within the wealth tech space?
One thing that's really served me well is just being someone who other people want to work with.
Mm.
And I really try to make all my decisions based around, would someone else appreciate this decision that I've made? Does this lend myself as being someone who others want to do business with, want to ask a question about, want to maybe start discovery or explore something? Am I being helpful? One thing that one of my mentors shared with me a long time ago that I really keep as a personal mantra is people want to work with who they like, who they trust, and who has knowledge, but it's always in that order. So if you're not liked, then no one's going to give you a chance to trust them and do business together. You're not going to get a seat at the table to have lunch with or have, happy hour, like chit chat with. And that really, that we're in a relationship business in wealth tech. It's all about who you know and, who you're connected with. There's a lot of people who love to lift each other up and give each other opportunities that might not be a job rec on a website. So that's the best way that I've really been intentional about building my network is being someone who people like and who they trust. And then just from a practical networking standpoint, something that I challenged myself with when I was job searching recently is, I love the people in my personal network. I've talked about my friends and partnerships, and I realized kind of quickly that when I was reaching out to my own friends and peers who had the same titles as me, it wasn't really getting me further than what I thought, because those are folks that probably aren't creating the jobs that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, I need to really expand my personal network and just start making big shots with true decision makers of firms. Like, who are my friends in the C-suite that I can reach out to who are creating or know people who are creating jobs that I actually want to do, who are founders who are doing really cool things that I can start building better relationships with that, again, are creating roles themselves or know people who are that wouldn't mind making an introduction. So those are things that I think the gut reaction is, of course, go to your network, but try to think outside of who is actually making connections in ways that would create an opportunity that you would want to do, and also reach out to someone who you actually would want to work with and can learn from.
I really like what you said about the mentor, about the like, trust, and knowledge in that order. That was really powerful. What does a good partnership look like? You've been able to land this particular role multiple times, right? So I would love to hear what a good partnership actually looks like in practice for those people who are maybe on the receiving end of that partnership. You have a lot of partnerships at Nitrogen.
Yeah, we do. And I've been very lucky to inherit a lot of the partnerships that we've had. And there's so many things you can do to build and make a good partnership. The thing that I get most energized about and when I'm creating a partnership for the first time is priority one, it has to give clear value to your client. If there's no value to the client, if you can't just say what the value is in one sentence, it's not going to work. Because to make a good partnership, and I've said this before on another podcast, things need to be firing on all cylinders. Product needs to be excited to iterate on it. Marketing really needs to be energized by it. Sales needs to be excited to share about it and bring it up. Service needs to be happy to support it, has to just work. It can't cause more problems. And so when you have all of those things firing on all cylinders and the advisor, the client has the clear value and they're getting a benefit from both companies working together, it could be as simple as a really impactful integration with a data share. It could be as impactful as or simple as maybe like a discount code with like just really clear value prop where people are, excited about what you're doing and they're saying, hey, I like really believe in this software and I really want you to look at it. And oh, by the way, there's a benefit from you being here and working over there. So when you have just a really good product and a clear value prop, people want to bring up things that ultimately help others. And so when you're creating that's what makes a really good partnership in practice. And just from what I'm really intentional about going deep with my own partners is being present with them, showing up for them. I created a partner newsletter that I've been rolling out every single month since I joined Nitrogen, because I realized that my contacts aren't the same as our clients and they're not getting our client newsletter. And it's also not the same information as what our clients would need to see about our platform. It's good information, but it's not for them. So I create something tailor-made for my partners that has information about not only what's new with Nitrogen, but what can help them compliance-wise. What are opportunities for events? Where are we going to be this year? How can we work together? What webinars do we have coming up as Nitrogen that might help their client base that they can share? So just different things that are helpful. And also it just helps me to get in front of partners that I might not be meeting with regularly, but at least they hear directly from me on a regular basis. And that's really helped them to keep up with different milestones at Nitrogen, different product releases that we're doing. And so that's been super helpful just for communication and just really going deep with partners and surfacing opportunities that we may not have otherwise uncovered.
And I know I speak for Kelly, Joe, and Randy that intentionally is honored to be partnered with Nitrogen and that we have a lot of our clients who are already your clients. So we share a lot of clients in common. I just love that advice, you guys. I'm so excited that this conversation is recorded because I would just play that over and over again, that customized newsletter. Again, I think the way you think and the way you go into these relationships is so deep, Rachel, and so thoughtful and so intentional. We really, really love that about you. Now, for our last couple of questions here, anything... I know that we can't do a spoiler alert. There are some announcements that have to wait for Fearless Investing Summit, but anything that you're particularly excited about the next 12 months? It's the beginning of the year and 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year for Intentionally. I know a phenomenal year for Nitrogen as well.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many things to be excited about. I love the way that the team is just working together, that we really share the same goal and just know the impact we're making to our advisors. So many things I'm excited about that we've talked about before, and the way that we're consolidating or allowing advisors to consolidate their tech stack using Nitrogen. So I really am bullish about there could be a world that we live in where an advisor has a custodian partner, they have a CRM, And then they maybe, performance reporting, if they want to
Right.
calculate returns, having a software that does that. And then literally nitrogen for everything else.
Yep.
And so imagine a world where your tech stack is the Kitsis map and there's just so much opportunity there. That Kitsis map just excites me. I've nerd out a lot in advisor tech. But what if we lived in a world where advisors only needed 3 platforms to really run a super successful, high growth business? And we are one of those. So I'm really working to change minds about nitrogen becoming or really being a core platform for advisors. And I think many of our clients would say, yes, it is a core platform. It's table stakes for us. We couldn't imagine running our business without it.
Awesome. What's the best way for our listeners to get in touch with you? Follow your work, Rachel?
Yeah. Me personally, LinkedIn is the best place. It's really the only place I post about work. And so Rachel Cameron on LinkedIn.
Awesome. We'll put a link to that in the show notes. We'll also put a link to the Kitsis map in case you haven't seen it. Again, if you've been living under a rock. And before we wrap up, one of the questions that we've had, which again, I'm really keen on this idea of like health and wellness. Is there a tip, something that's benefited you, something that you do on an ongoing basis that has significantly benefited your health?
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I got an underdesk treadmill. And it's one of those that shuts off automatically after an hour. And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people like on Chrome where I have 30 tabs up any given time of
Totally.
day. It's just like when I'm on my treadmill, I am able to focus a lot on what I'm doing. I don't like mind shift. So especially when
Wow.
there's a project that I really need to just buckle down and do, I'll hop on the treadmill, walk it out, tell myself after an hour when this treadmill shuts off, that's when I'm going to stop doing it. And it really does help me to focus, but I'm also getting some fitness in at the same time. So it's helped, with steps, and it's helped like mentally focus too. So I really advocate for the underdesk treadmill.
That's so cool. We've never had that answer before. And that's
Oh,
exactly
good.
what I bought my daughter for Christmas. I'm
Mhm.
so excited by that answer, Rachel.
Yeah.
It explains your positive energy, your ethos, your fitness every time that I see you. And again, I hope everyone that's listening, I hope that I get to see you. Please like tap us on the shoulder if you've listened to this podcast episode or if you're connected with us on LinkedIn and you're actually coming to Fearless. Make sure that we know about it so that we could give you high fives and warm hugs. We're all just going to have a great time in Denver. It's a great time of year to have all this inflection of these great speakers, a robust agenda that has been very thoughtfully prepared for the forward-thinking modern advisor. Again, we share a lot of clients, Rachel, and these are the types of folks that, work with intentionally. What are we doing different in 2026? What are we breaking? What are we being bold about? And your conversation today helps to lean into those themes really heavily, as well as this event. So cannot wait to see you at Fearless. And we're so thankful for your time and your contributions today. This is a great Kickstarter for 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tina. It's been great being here. Great chatting with you.
You're listening to In the Suite, the podcast that brings you inspiring stories of women leading the way in financial services and wealth management, along with the men who champion and empower them. Our producers are Tina Powell and Kevin Hirshorn. Our editor at large is Kevin Hirshorn. Our content writer is Tina Powell. This podcast is sponsored by Intentionally, a growth design consultancy working with fintech and finserv companies to turbocharge their marketing efforts. If you want more information, please email me at tina@growintentionally.com. And thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me. We've got over 15,000 downloads, listeners in over 134 countries and 1,911 cities worldwide. Please consider giving us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. It would mean the world to me and help us to get found by more people. Please, I would love for us to connect on LinkedIn, and please follow In the Suite on Instagram at In the Suite Pod. Thank you again for listening and subscribing.